Hey, it's Ariel, and I've been quiet for a couple months. I've been deep in building something, and today I get to finally tell you what it is. But first, I want to share the talks that launched it because the content matters more than the announcement. So grab whatever you're drinking and settle in. This one is worth your full attention. I want to start by asking you something, and I want you to really sit with this one. When was the last time you made a financial decision that you knew in the moment was wrong? Not looking back with hindsight, I mean in real time. You knew it wasn't the smart move. You knew you shouldn't, and you did it anyway. Maybe it was buying something you didn't need. Maybe it was not moving money into savings when you told yourself you would. Maybe it was ignoring that bill, that account, or the conversation you needed to have. Whatever it was, you knew better, and you did it anyway. I want you to take a second and actually think of that moment. Not a hypothetical, a real one. Got it? Here's what I want you to know right now. You're not alone, and more importantly, you're not broken. Here's what I know about the women I work with. They're smart, they're successful, they're the ones other people come to for advice, and yet their financial life feels like chaos. They make good money, but somehow there's never enough. They know they should be investing, but they haven't started, or they started and stopped. They have a savings account that's basically a holding tank before the next emergency. They avoid looking at their accounts because they don't want to know. Sound familiar? Now, here's what drives me crazy about the financial industry. Almost all of it assumes that if you just knew what to do, you'd do it. So they teach you about the compound interest. They explain the importance of an emergency fund. They show you how to budget. They give you the apps and the spreadsheets and the calculators. And then when you don't follow through, the message you get, whether they say it out loud or not, is that you lack discipline, that you need to try harder, that you need to be more committed, that you're the problem. I call BS on that. Here's what the industry actually says versus what it means. What they say is you lack discipline. You need to try harder. You just need the right system. What they mean is you are the problem. What is actually true is you are not the problem. You've read the books, you've watched the videos, you've heard about paying yourself first approximately 7,000 times. You know what to do. So why aren't you doing it? And that's the question that no one in the financial world actually wants to answer. Because if they admit that knowledge isn't the problem, they have to admit their entire approach is missing something. And it is. So here's what I've learned working with women who couldn't figure out why they kept getting in their own way with money. It's not a knowledge problem. It's not a discipline problem. It's a pattern problem. Let me say that one more time because I really want it to land. It is a pattern problem. And there are specific behavioral patterns running in the background of your mind, patterns you probably aren't even aware of that are actually sabotaging your financial decisions. These patterns aren't random, they're predictable. And I've identified 6 distinct wealth blocking patterns that show up over and over again in women who are smart and capable in every other area of their lives. And here's the key: until you identify which pattern is running your show, no amount of financial education is going to help you. You'll keep knowing what to do and not doing it. You'll keep making plans and then abandoning them. You'll keep wondering what's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You just have a pattern that's working against you, and patterns can be changed. Today, I'm going to walk you through 2 of the most common patterns I see. And as I describe them, I want you to notice if either one feels familiar, not just intellectually, in your body, that little clench in your stomach, that uncomfortable recognition. That's your pattern saying hello. The first pattern is what I call the overwhelm avoider. This is the woman who knows there are financial things she needs to handle. She's not in denial about that. She knows she needs to look at her retirement account. She knows that she needs to deal with that old 401k from a job 3 years ago. She knows she needs to figure out her tax situation. But every time she thinks about sitting down to do it, something happens. It feels too big, too complicated, too much. So she tells herself she'll do it later, when she has more time, when she has more energy, when things calm down. Later becomes next week becomes next month Next month becomes next year, and the longer she waits, the bigger it feels, the more overwhelming it becomes, which makes her avoid it even more. Now, here's what's actually happening underneath this pattern. Her brain has learned that financial tasks equal stress, so it does what brains are designed to do. It protects her. That resistance you feel, that sudden urge to do literally anything else when you open the banking app, that's not weakness. That resistance feels like procrastination. It's actually a protective mechanism, and it's protection that's backfiring because the avoided tasks don't go away, they pile up, and each one adds to the mental load she's already carrying. Nobody sees the energy she's spending on avoiding, but she feels it every single day. Here is how the overwhelm avoider pattern shows up in real life. Listen to these and notice what lands. Ghost accounts. Financial accounts she has not logged into in months, maybe longer. She knows they exist, she just cannot go there. The pile. Unopened mail related to money sitting somewhere in her home, on the counter, in a drawer, in the car. She walks past it every day. Pre task exhaustion. Feeling tired when she thinks about sitting down to deal with money before she even starts. The task drains her even before she touches it. The loop. Saying, I really need to, about the same financial task more than a dozen times without doing anything about it. The thought is a fixture, the action is not. Now, if any of this sounds familiar, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not lazy. You are not irresponsible. Your brain is actually doing its job. The problem is that the job it's doing is working against you. The way out of the overwhelm avoider pattern is not forcing yourself to do all of the things. That confirms your brain's worst fear and makes the avoidance worse. The way out is making the task small enough that your brain doesn't register it as a threat. Not 2 hours organizing your finances, not building the full budget. Just open the app and look at one number. That's it. Close it if you need to. You're not trying to fix everything all at once. You're teaching your brain that engaging with money is safe. And that safety is the foundation everything else is built on. The second pattern is what I call the success self saboteur. Try saying that one 5 times fast. And this one is sneaky. The success self saboteur doesn't avoid financial tasks, she does them. She makes the plan, she sets up the automatic transfer, she opens the investment account, she feels genuinely good about it. And then somehow it falls apart. She finds a reason to pull from savings, just this once, for this emergency, which isn't really an emergency, but feels like one. She pauses the automatic transfer just for 1 month until things stabilize. She stops checking her investments because she doesn't want to see if they're down. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back every single time, and she cannot figure out why she keeps doing this to herself. Now, if the overwhelm avoider never gets started, the success self saboteur gets started just fine. She just can't seem to maintain. And here's what's happening underneath this pattern. The success self saboteur has an unconscious belief that she doesn't deserve to build wealth, or that it's not safe for her to have money, or that something bad will happen if she gets too comfortable. Now, this belief isn't logical. She wouldn't say it out loud. In fact, she'd probably argue against it if you asked her directly. But beliefs don't have to be logical to run your behavior, they just have to be there. So, where does this come from? Often it's inherited. Messages from childhood about money, watching how the adults in your life handled abundance or success, cultural narratives about what happens to people who have too much. And sometimes it's even tied to identity. So if you've seen yourself as someone who struggles with money, actually being good with money threatens your sense of who you are. And sometimes it's even tied to relationships. If the people around you aren't building wealth, doing so yourself can feel like leaving them behind, like you're becoming someone they can't relate to. Whatever the root cause, the result is the same. Every time you start making progress, something in you pulls the emergency brake. So here is how the success self-saboteur shows up in real life. The reset cycle. She has started saving or investing more than once and stopped more than once. Multiple fresh starts that didn't stick. Success anxiety. She feels anxious instead of relieved when things are going well financially. Something about stability feels off, dangerous even. the drain. She can name multiple times she spent or withdrew money she had committed to savings. She remembers each one and still doesn't know why. The guilt layer. She feels guilty when she thinks about having more than the people she loves. Wealth starts to feel like distance from people who matter. Now, if any of that landed, here's what I want you to hear. You are not self destructive. You are not incapable of following through. Your brain is just trying to keep you safe from a threat it perceives around success. And you cannot discipline your way out of an unconscious belief. Willpower does not touch this. The way out is making success feel safe, proving to your nervous system slowly and incrementally that nothing bad happens when you build wealth, that you won't lose connection, that you won't become someone unrecognizable. Now, here's the difference between the try harder approach and the pattern approach. The try harder approach is you save 10,000, you drain it, you end with nothing and new proof that you cannot be trusted with money. The pattern approach, you save $500, you keep it, you end with $500 and proof. Proof your brain can use to update its beliefs and try again, bigger. Smaller goals are not settling, they are a strategy. Okay, I want to come back to the question I asked at the beginning. That financial decision you knew was wrong while you were making it. I want you to go back to that moment right now. And if you're someone or somewhere you can close your eyes, I want you to close them and ask yourself, what was I feeling right before I made that decision? Not after, not during, right before. Take a breath and actually sit with it for a moment. Was it overwhelm? The sensation of too much, too big, I cannot deal with this right now? Or if it was something else, the relief of letting yourself off the hook, anxiety about what's going too well, a sense that you didn't really deserve to keep that money anyway? Whatever came up, the feeling is not a flaw, it's data. It tells you exactly which pattern is running your financial life. The overwhelm avoider feels resistance before she avoids. The success self saboteur often feels relief after she sabotages. Which one sounds more like you? Now, I've only covered 2 patterns today, and there are actually 6 that I've identified. The overwhelm avoider cannot make herself start. The success self saboteur cannot make herself stay. The feast famine reactor swings with every income change. The perfectionist paralytic waits until she can do it perfectly. The control compensator overmanages to feel safe. The future discounter tomorrow already feels more real. Most women have one primary pattern and 1 or 2 secondary ones, and knowing which ones are yours changes everything. Because once you see your pattern, you can stop fighting yourself. You can stop thinking something is wrong with you, and you can start working with your brain instead of against it. And that is the shift from fighting yourself to understanding yourself, from willpower to pattern work. It's not about trying harder, it's about trying different. And I want you to notice something. The shift is not motivational, it's neurological. It means that it's not about wanting more, it's about working with how your brain actually functions. And it's available to you right now. So I created a free wealth blocking pattern assessment that will help you identify your primary pattern. It's not a quiz where I try to sell you something at the end. It's a diagnostic tool. You answer a few questions, you find out which pattern is most likely driving your financial behavior, and you get specific insight into what to do about it. And you can go to financiallyflourishing.com to take it. The link is in the show notes. Today, while it is fresh, take it. It takes 5 minutes and will tell you something real about yourself. Now, for some of you, the assessment is going to be exactly what you need right now. Take it, use the insight, run with it. That is genuinely what it's there for. But for some of you, something clicked while you were listening, and you already know you're done doing this alone. Now, that is what the RAIN method is for. The RAIN method is my 90-day behavioral finance intensive. And it's not a generic curriculum. It's not a course you buy and forget. It's a personalized program built entirely around your specific pattern. the one that has been running your financial life without your permission. You get 6 private coaching sessions with me, drip content delivered at a pace your brain can actually absorb and implement, and a framework built around your wiring, not someone else's success story. I've launched 5 founding member spots this week at a founding special rate that is not general enrollment price. And if you know that this is you, don't email me and wait. You want to go to financiallyflourishing.com and book a discovery call directly. I have time set aside next week for exactly this conversation. And here's what I want you to take away from today. If you've been beating yourself up around money, if you've been wondering why you cannot just get it together, if you've been comparing yourself to people who seem to have it figured out and feeling like something must be fundamentally wrong with you, stop. Nothing is wrong with you. You have a pattern, that is all. And patterns can be seen, patterns can be understood, and patterns can be changed. You don't need more discipline. You don't need another budgeting app. You don't need someone to yell at you about compound interest. You need to know what is actually driving your behavior. And then you need strategies that work with your brain instead of against it. Thank you for listening. And I'll be back in your inbox soon. And I'm not going to go quiet again. Take care of yourselves.